I'm delighted now to welcome May Burns. I hope that's not mine. And May is here today to talk to us a little bit about her work and the work of Mullaghmore Active and what they do to protect the coastline of Sligo. I had the pleasure of going out on a beach clean with May earlier this year, and indeed Martin Dory from 2 Minute Beach Clean, and it was just a fantastic day. We were made feel so welcome. There were about 20 people or 30 people there helping to do a clean-up, and it was really good fun. And I think that's a really important thing to touch on today, is that, okay, it's great that we're doing something positive for the environment, but there is a social aspect to this. And I think that that's really, really important. People getting out there, being connected, meeting up with each other and contributing to our environment in a positive way. So without further ado, May, we'd welcome you here to speak about Mullaghmore Active Custodians caring for the coast of the Northwest.
Hello everyone. It's lovely to be here all the way from Mullaghmore in County Sligo. We did hear about a different Mullaghmore a few minutes ago from Martin, but that's Mullaghmore Mountain down in the borough. So in case you might be confused, I'm talking about Mullaghmore Beach in County Sligo. Thank you very much to Clean Coast for the invitation to speak. It's really lovely to get the opportunity to tell you what we're doing up in the Northwest. This is Mullaghmore Harbour, and I bring greetings from the small year-round population in Mullaghmore to all of the other groups involved in coast care today. Just in case any of you mightn't be aware of where Mullaghmore is, I should have a little red circle there like Martin had on his, but I didn't get around to that. But if you look up at County Sligo there on the map, and if you look up at where it comes very close to County Donegal, you'll see the headland sticking out there. Well, that's Mullaghmore. There's a lovely view of our beach, looking out onto Donegal Bay and framed by the Dartry Mountains in the background. And there's another one, and that would be very typical of our beach at this time of the year. Not too many people on it, maybe one or two walking their dog or a brave soul that might venture into paddle. Just a little bit about my group, Mullaghmore Active. We got started a long, long time ago in the mid-90s, and we were called Mullaghmore Development Association then. And really we started off as a village tidy group. We existed primarily to prettify the village and to keep it clean and tidy. And it just shows how far we've come in terms of awareness in those years, because at that time we gave very little thought to our beach. We felt, well, you know, the beach cleaned itself, the tide came in and the tide went out, and we really didn't focus on it at all. That seems quite extraordinary now with all our awareness and education and information, but at that time we didn't focus on the beach hardly at all. Nowadays our aim is to keep all of Mullaghmore beautiful and healthy, and we incorporate the Tidy Towns group. We have a core committee of 7 that meets once a month. We coordinate the local, we're lucky enough to have a community employment scheme, and we oversee that scheme, and we make out their tasks for the week. And we very much now incorporate a coast care group. Our coast care group works with, we have our 7 committee members, but whenever we have activities like our cleanups to do with the beach, we have a wider group from the community that we call on to join in with us for those activities. Now, how we got started focusing on the beach, well, we were sort of forced to, because this is going back quite some time. We noticed, the first thing that made us focus on the beach was that we noticed our marron grass and our sand dunes were being eroded. This came as quite a shock to us, and we sort of decided we'd try and find out what we could do to prevent any more damage. This led us on to learning about the marron grass, or the bent as we call it, and we established that we needed to protect the grass from further erosion. So with the help of a local hardware company who provided fencing for us, we got a fencing up. Our local authority helped us with signage to explain to people what we were doing, that we didn't want traffic on the dunes while we were trying to get the marron grass to regrow. And the result was success. In a very few years, the grass stabilised, and we didn't have a problem there anymore. So, buoyed up by this success, we decided we were going to have a focus on the beach from then on. And that's when we started the first of our cleanups. And you can see there we were a fairly motley crew in the beginning, but as somebody said, I think we look fairly happy at the same time, and there was a great social element to heading out on those early cleanups, and we felt we were pioneers, and we enjoyed feeling that we were doing something really positive. We got going on the cleanups in great order. As you can see there, we're picking up lots of what has been mentioned before in other talks, pieces from fishing, the fishing industry, bits of ropes, nets. We found a wheelie bin, tyres, all of that. And we also discovered that we needed to keep an eye on our dune system, even though we had stabilised the bent, the marram grass, because we're very much a tourist, a seaside resort. And in the summer, we do have lots of young people holidaying in the area. And we discovered a few summers ago that they were partying in an area of the dunes that we call the Hollow. And unfortunately, a little bit of antisocial behaviour had crept in. And the young people were going down there with drink late at night, and they were having their parties and enjoying themselves, which was great. But sadly, they were breaking the bottles before they left the area, and also they were setting fire to the dunes. So we got down there and we cleaned up the area, which was quite difficult with all the small pieces of broken glass. But, sorry, I'll just go back to that one for a second. Yeah, we decided that really this was going to go on unless we did something about it. So happily, we had a talk with the young people concerned, and we explained to them that we didn't want to stop their enjoyment in any way, but we wanted them to do two things for us. First of all, not to break the glass when they were finished their drinks, and secondly, not to set fire to the dunes. And happily, that worked, and to date we haven't had any further behaviour like this, and the Hollow is looking very well at the moment. So more cleanups on the beach. One little tip for you now today is if you're going to have a cleanup group, always have a farmer involved, because farmers have trailers and quads and other very useful bits of machinery. So this is our farmer, and he's a great help to us, and we wouldn't be without him at all. I thought we had a monopoly on tyres on our beach, but I did see that Tamlin from the Lissadell area had quite a bit of tyres there and their clean-up as well. We know where our tyres come from. Our tyres come from the harbour, which is just adjacent to our beach. And after the storms of last winter, we had 47 tyres washed up on the beach. The fishermen in the harbour, they used tyres as moorings, first of all, on the seabed. They used tyres as fenders on the sides of their boats, and they used tyres to prevent damage to their boats on the harbour walls. And unfortunately, when the high seas come along, lots of the tyres get washed into the water and they end up on our beach. So we reckoned 47 was worthy of comment. Now, we were motoring along quite nicely, and then one great day there about 3 years ago, we had a phone call from a lady who said she was Olivia Crossan. And she said she was from Clean Coast, Ireland. And we had never heard of Olivia, and we had never heard of Clean Coast, Ireland. But we formed a great alliance that day, which has continued. There's Olivia. It was a lovely day in Mullaghmore. She has her sunglasses on there in the centre. And we joined up with Olivia, and we suddenly began to look a lot smarter, didn't we? She brought us a whole new wardrobe, and we began to look very coordinated. And then our cleanups really took off, and this is a picture from last summer, and this is the one you mentioned, Annabelle, with yourself there at the end, and Martin, Dory. I got a phone call to say there were some very important people in Mullaghmore and that we were to organise a clean-up. So that was the result. We felt great when we joined in with Clean Coast Ireland. We felt we were part of a bigger movement. It's great to feel there are other people doing what you're doing. And before we became affiliated with Clean Coast, we sort of felt we were ploughing a lonely furrow. But it's great now to feel on Clean Up Day that we're part of, I think it was 90 plus cleanups 103 cleanups last summer. It's just wonderful to feel that you're part of a movement that is that big. We have lots of children in our group as well. We have varying numbers in our cleanups. Sometimes in the summertime when we have lots of visitors around, we have big numbers. Sometimes in the wintertime when it's just the resident community, it can be quite small. You would think from these pictures that the sun always shines in Mullaghmore. I assure you it doesn't. It's just on the bad days you don't even take the camera out of your pocket. It's so bad. Recently we've become very, very interested in the data collection that Clean Coast Ireland instruct us about. We take very seriously the counting up of the amounts of litter and the filling in of the data cards, so that we're informing Clean Coast and the global community of Clean Coast people of what kind of litter and the amounts that we're finding on our seashore. Martin mentioned earlier that his community of surfers join in with his cleanups. Well, I can go along with that, Martin, because this is just to show you what can happen, the good things that can happen. One Sunday morning last summer, we were starting out on our cleanup, and our local running group were limbering up and doing their stretches to start running on the beach. But when they saw us starting the cleanup, they decided they would join in with us. So we said, great, and we provided them with bags, and they didn't do the run at all. They just came and cleaned the beach with us. There they are. That's more data collection. The importance of the local authority has been mentioned a couple of times, and in Mullaghmore we are fully aware of how important Sligo County Council is to us, and we make sure that we stay on very good terms with our local County Council representatives. This is Damien Henry, he's our local engineer, and whenever we're having a clean up or we have any concerns or any issues or questions or comments, whatever, we get in touch with Damien. And he does come out from time to time and he addresses issues with us, and we have a very important and good working relationship there. We also like to invite the local schools out to the beach from time to time, and this is a photograph of our local Cliffany school who came out to the beach, and again Olivia came out to us and we brought them for a very pleasant walk down on the beach and addressed certain issues with them and educated them about the marine environment and the beach and the do's and the don'ts and all of that. And as somebody mentioned, it was fun for them, and that was the most important thing. It was fun, but they were learning. In relation to pester power that we heard about this morning, I would fully go along with pester power. Nobody can pester like young people can pester. They are just programmed to pester. And if you can get your message across to young people, there is no doubt about it, they will pester their parents to do the right thing. Not just with coasts, but with everything to do with the environment. If you can get the youngsters doing it, they'll pass it on. There's Olivia again, making sure that the young people are learning as well as having fun. We also take every opportunity we can get to get our message out and to spread the word that we want Mullaghmore to be a clean and happy and healthy place, not just for human beings, but for all forms of life. So this was an exhibition in the IT in Sligo last year, and we got involved and got our message out there. We also have a Facebook page. Facebook Mullaghmore Active will find us, and again we use every opportunity on Facebook. We organise our cleanups and let people know that our cleanups are happening on Facebook. We stay in touch with Clean Coasts on Facebook. We stay in touch with our local authority. We affiliate to other pages that have the same message, like the Irish Wildlife Trust, and we promote the 2-minute beach clean, the ban the microbead promotion, all of that, and there's our address if you want to look us up. We also have a newsletter that we bring out once a year, and again here we take the opportunity to promote the positive seashore message. You can see just nice little graphics, nice little images like the coast to boast about, and as well as that, last year down here we promoted the 2-minute beach clean method, the 2-minute beach clean idea. We're not perfect. We do have issues in Mullaghmore, one of the main ones being cattle on the beach. And all I'll say about that issue today is it's complicated, but we're working on it. One other issue, I was speaking to some people about this at the coffee break. A couple of years ago, we took the decision in Mullaghmore to ban all bins. We now have no bins in Mullaghmore, no bins in the village, no bins on the beach entrance. We find it's working terrifically well. This is what it was like when we had bins. You know, multiply that by 6, 7, 8 bins. It was just a mess. The bins were abused. People put household rubbish into them. The birds pulled out the rubbish, then they weren't emptied often enough. So we've banned the bin. It is not without its controversy. Some people criticise us for it, but we find it's working very well and we're staying with it. Sometimes we get a reward. We got the Green Coast flag this year, which we're very happy about. And going forward, well, we're going to keep on doing what we're doing. We love to make new liaisons, days like this, and we find the solidarity and the camaraderie of meeting other groups is really, really positive. It's great that there's a global push on now to clean up our oceans. And it's great that the information is getting out there to people about what to do. We think education is so important for young people, because if we can get people to think and then act responsibly, that's the secret. And of course, legislation. Why do we do it? Well, we believe that the earth was created for all of us and not just for some of us. And I'm almost finished now. Something stick in your mind, and I know Save the Whale is a bit of a cliche, but just something did stick in my mind that I read last year. It was the body of a whale was washed up on the coast of Spain, and they found there were 60 separate pieces of plastic in the intestines of the creature. And it just sticks in my mind when I'm doing the beach leans now. I think, well, if we pick up 60 pieces of plastic, we could be saving a whale. And again, I know it's a little bit of a cliche, but it's actually great because it spurs you on. This is what we aim for, less of this and more of this. And to everybody involved, keep up the good work. And thank you very much.